Hi friends, today I'm going to tell you about how to make a works cited page. This is how in college you tell people where your information came from. It looks like this. You see? We're going to use a tool called Noodle Tools, which is an online program that Richland has already paid for you to use. This video is going to show you how to do that. First, I'm going to show you how to create a Noodle Tools account. Then I'm going to show you how to make a citation. This is one citation. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This page has 8 citations. A citation is like the address of where you got the information from. It tells people where your source of information is. For your informative presentation, you should have had at least 4. Maybe you had 5, 6. That's okay. However many sources of information you have, you should have a citation for each one. So if you had 4 sources of information, you should have 4 citations. This one has 8. When you're done, you're going to give me one of these. You're going to give me one so that you have shown me that you can do this. First, I'm going to show you how to create a Noodle Tools account. Then I'm going to show you how to create a citation for a basic website. Last, I'm going to show you how to create a citation for Wikipedia. And then I'm going to show you how to actually print and create one of these, and I want you to give this to me on the due date that I show you in class. Let's get started. Okay, the very first thing is going to be to open an internet browser, and you're going to need to have several tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and open different tabs here. On the first tab, you want to go to the Richland website. And you can do rlc.dccdu, you can do richlandcollege.edu. We're going to click on library. And the reason we're doing it this way is because Richland has actually paid a licensing fee for you to use this program, so you have to go through the Richland library site. So you're going to click on library. Down here under for students, you see the one that says use Noodle Tools for works cited? We're going to do that one. We're going to click on use Noodle Tools right here, use Noodle Tools. And then you're going to have to put in your information to prove you are a Richland student. You're going to put in your first name and your last name, and then your ID number. This is the same as your eCampus, but with no letter E. Just the number, just your student ID number. So I've put in mine already, and it's going to take me to the Noodle Tools site. And I'm going to click on sign in. Now, the next time you come here, you can just go ahead and put in the username and password. They call it a personal ID instead of a username, but you put in your username and password. But the first time you have to create one. So we're going to click on create. And you select I'm a student. You select Richland College. You select expected your graduation. This doesn't really matter, but you can choose 2020. The personal ID, you can make it anything you want. You might make it the same as your eCampus, but if you have a username you like to use all the time, like sometimes I use Gabib or Gabe.Edgar. For this one, I'm going to even do my dog is named Heidi. And does anyone else have that one? Yay, it's available. And then you put in a password. Then this is very important, the easy login retrieval. You put in your initials. Now my name is Gabe Edgar, so my initials are GE. Remember how we did initials for the ePortfolio. And then you put in the last 4 digits of your phone number. This is how you will prove that you are you if you forget your password. And then you click. And then you click register. Now, we're here under projects. You want to create a new project for each assignment. So in listening and speaking class, we're going to do 1, works cited page for your informative presentation. If you were in another class and had to do a different assignment, you might do a different project. Even if you're in the same class, you might want to do 2 or 3 different projects. So one project for each assignment for each class that you use this for. I'm talking about in college in the future. We're going to click on Create a New Project. We're going to use MLA. MLA is the Modern Language Association. This is the basic one for undergraduate, for Richland, for UTD, for UNT, for most of the schools for undergraduate education. However, if you go to another school and they ever ask for APA or Chicago, or what this is called Turabian, this program will also do those. But we use MLA, and we are college students, so we are advanced. And then in the description, you want to do something that you'll always remember what it is. So my suggestion is put in the year, put in the semester. I'm going to do SB for spring. Put in the class. And then put in what assignment it's for. Informative presentation. But you could make it shorter. You could do info pres. Or if this was for a history class, you could put in history right here. But these 3 pieces of information, the year and semester, the class, and the name of the assignment, is enough information that even in a couple years when you've kind of forgotten what you're doing, that you're going to remember what this is for, so you'll never have to wonder. Because once you have 10, 15, 20 projects, you want to be able to find the one that you want very quickly. We're going to click Create Project. This takes us to the dashboard. If I want, I can go back to my projects list and choose a different project. There's lots of cool things that Noodle Tools lets you do. You can share it with other people. You can even share it with other students that have Noodle Tools accounts, so that if you get into a group and you're doing a group project that requires a works cited page, you could add several people and everybody could work on it together. We're going to come down here to Works Cited Page. We're going to click on Works Cited Page. And that brings us up to bibliography. If I want to go back to the dashboard, I can click on Dashboard. If I want to go back to the projects list, I can go back to the projects list. You see how that works? So here we are under bibliography, or MLA Works Cited Page. And right now we have no citations. The list of citations are down here. You can see there are none. So we got to create one. And to create one, we select the citation type and then we create the citation. Now let's say I was doing a project about Bruce Springsteen. He's a very famous guy, and I'm going to use the official Bruce Springsteen website. Okay, so this is my source of information. When I create a citation, what kind of thing am I creating? Well, they have lots and lots. But the most commonly cited are books, databases, journals, magazines, newspapers, reference sources like dictionaries or encyclopedias, and websites. And this is obviously a website. So this is my source of information. So I want to cite it. I want to create a citation for a website. Do you see how that works? But they have lots of other ones. They have periodicals and non-periodicals, and for electronics, if you got information from a video clip online, if you got information from Wikipedia, if you got information from even an interview or a letter, or a religious work, or the Bible, or a book, or a reprinted article, all of those things are possible. Well, we're going to choose website because my first source is a website. So I'm going to click Create Citation. And this is the basic site. It shows me how to look at a website, how to evaluate it, how to tell if it's good or bad, how to cite it. Now, the next time I can hide this or I can check it out. I'm going to go ahead and click Hide and then Continue. I can click Continue up here or Continue down here. And this is where I put in my information. Now for a website, you need to put in the most recent date of access. This is the date that you looked at it. It always automatically fills in today's date. And this, I'm doing this on February 11th, 2015. It's Wednesday, by the way. So here is today. It always puts in today's date. But if you looked at it in the past, you could change it to the past. The reason that you always have the recent date of access, the day that you look at the information for a website, is because websites change. So when you cite it, you need to tell people when you looked at it, because if it changes and they go look at it later, then they'll know that maybe the information changed. The date of publication is when the information came. So if I get information, for instance, from this timeline, I could find a date like that, or here, and I could use that date here. If I don't know, if it doesn't say when the information became available, when it was published on the internet, if it doesn't have a date on it, leave it blank. Don't put anything, just leave it blank. And that's true for all of this. If you can't find out something, leave it blank. It's okay to leave things blank. So I'm using all of this information, so I'm not going to put the date of any of it because it all has different dates. I'm going to leave it blank. The next part is to take the URL. So this is the URL of the page I'm using. And I'm going to copy and paste it right there. Do you see what I did? I just selected it all, I copied, and then I pasted. So you put in, this is where you actually put in the link. Now for the web page, we have contributors. Is there an author, editor, or translator? So what I do is I look at the very top. Okay. And I look at the very bottom. Okay. I don't see an author's name, so I could leave that blank. The name of this page is Timeline, right? So that's the name of the web page, the web page title. The web page title. So I'm going to put in Timeline. If it doesn't have a name, you can put untitled, but most articles or web pages have names, so you should be able to find a title for that. If it's not in English, then you can provide a translation. So if it's in another language besides English, you put in the original here in Chinese or Japanese or Vietnamese or Russian or Arabic or French or Spanish, and then you put in the translation, the English translation here. But this is in English, so I don't have to put in a translation. Now the name of the website is brucespringsteen.net. So I'm going to put in here brucespringsteen.net. This is not the same as the specific URL. This is the actual address. This is just the name of the website, like Amazon.com or Google.com or Apple.com. That's the name of the site. It's not the specific URL, it's the name. The publisher of the site, this is a little bit tricky. You have to look down at the very bottom of the page, and it's always in different places, and you're looking for something like this, where it says copyright, and you're looking for the name of the company that owns the website, that publishes the website, the name of the company. So this one is owned by Sony Music Entertainment. So that I'm going to copy and paste that. Again, if you can't find something, if you can't find the company's name, you can leave this blank. Editors of the site as a whole. Sometimes websites will say at the very bottom, edited by, and it gives a person's name. Now I'm looking here, I don't see anybody, so I'm going to leave this blank. And if the website says second edition or second version or 2.0 or something like that, you can put that information in here. The last box to fill in is called an annotation. We're not going to use an annotation. And in fact, unless your teacher asks for an annotated bibliography or an annotation, you leave this blank. You don't write anything at all. So just to review, I have the date I accessed it. It doesn't have a date that it was published, so I'm going to leave that blank. I have the URL. This is the specific web address. The web page might have an author. If I find someone's name who helped write it or edit it or translate it, I can put in their first name and their last name. If it has more than one person, I could add another contributor, so I could have 2 different people. Then the web page has a title, so I put in that. It's called Timeline. The website has a title or a name. I put in that. That's different than the URL. And then the publisher of the site. That's the company that owns the site. Then if it says anything like edited by, you can put in that. This is becoming more and more rare, so you probably won't see this one very much. And then that's it. So we're going to come down here and click on Submit once we're all done. And that's going to give us our first citation. Now, you probably have more than one source of information. I asked you to have at least 4. So this is one. We need to do the second one. Well, if I'm doing my work about Bruce Springsteen, I'm going to come over here and I might type in something like Bruce Springsteen. Why is he... Ooh, that one. Why is he called the boss? Now, Google gives me information here. This is not something I can cite, though. I might have to go to Wikipedia. I'm going to show you how to use Wikipedia in a second. Here's a nice article about how the boss has evolved. So let me show you how to cite this. So here's an article about Bruce Springsteen. And I'm going to come back here. What am I looking at? I'm looking at a website. So I'm going to create a citation. And the website URL I can get from right here. The date of access is today. I've got the URL. Now this article does have a date. It was published on December 18th, 2014. So I'm going to come to December 18th, 2014. So I've got the day I looked at it, the day it was published, and the URL. Now, contributors. It does have an author. It says Martin Chilton. So I'm going to put in his first name, Martin. I don't know his middle name. That's okay. Leave it blank. And the last name, Chilton. And the title of the web page is Bruce Springsteen, How the Boss Has Evolved. So I can put that in for the web page. It's already in English. I don't need a translation. I'm getting a little note here. It says the first letters of the words listed should be likely capitalized. So even though the article didn't capitalize, I need to change it to make it capitalized. And then that goes away. The name of the website is The Telegraph. The Telegraph. Now for the publisher of the site, remember you can look at the very, very bottom of the page all the way down. And does it say, there it is, Copyright Telegraph Media Group. Editor of the site, doesn't say. Leave that blank. Leave this blank, leave that blank, submit. So you see how much faster I went there? So once you get pretty good at it, it goes pretty quick. You can do a whole works cited page in maybe 30 minutes. Now I've got 2 sources. Now my last source is going to be the Wikipedia article about Bruce Springsteen. So for this one, for Wikipedia articles, we're actually going to choose down here. There's actually a special one just for Wikipedia. So here's the commonly cited periodicals, non-periodicals, electronic, online. The last one is Wikipedia. So I'm going to select Wikipedia, create citation. It's going to bring me back to this page because it's the first time I used it. I'm going to click hide this reference source for the future, but you can look at it if you want. I'm going to click continue. All right. Now you'll notice up here it says website, e-publication. In other words, this information is not from a book and copied onto the internet. It started on the internet. So it's born digital. The publisher of the site. So who publishes Wikipedia? Well, to find that out, I go to the very, very bottom. And Wikipedia is a registered trademark of the Wikimedia Foundation. So I'm going to type in Wikimedia Foundation. Now, most recent date of access, we have today. Date of e-publication. Here's the trick about Wikipedia sites is you don't know when this information was created. You'll notice there's no date here, there's no date at the bottom, so you have to leave this blank. The next one is the URL, just like a website. And the next one is DOI. That one you can leave blank as well. Now the authors, we don't know who wrote any of this information, so we leave it blank. We do have an article or entry title, which is simply from this, Bruce Springsteen. It's the title of the article. And it doesn't have pages, so we're going to leave those blank. And we don't know who the contributors are. The title of the encyclopedia, it's an encyclopedia, it's a Wikipedia, but it's encyclopedia. The title of the encyclopedia is Wikipedia. So that's just a little bit different than doing a website. It's the same information, it's just arranged a little bit differently because it's a encyclopedia, not a normal website. The edition we don't know. Annotation we leave blank. We click submit. Now I've got 3. Okay, I'm going to pretend that I have 4. This is the part where I show you how to actually create it. Once you've got your citations, you might think, oh, I want to print them so I can copy and paste them and put them in. No, don't do that because it will not be correctly formatted. The only way to get full points and to create a good works cited page is to go here, print export, print to Word. It's going to give you a file that you can open. This is a good works cited page. And if you print it out exactly like this, you go up here and print file, then this will be good. If you try to do it straight from here, you won't be able to do it. You need the works cited page in a Word document. This is perfect. So you'll notice several things. The information is in a particular order. Some of it has quotation marks. Some of it is italicized. It's using Times New Roman 12-point font. It has an interesting indentation system. This is 1 citation. This is 2 citations. This is 3 citations. That's how I know different citations. So once I print this, it will be perfect. Okay, once I'm done here, I can go back to projects. I can sign out. You'll notice over here there's some editing buttons, so if you see a mistake, you can edit. You can even copy or delete. If you decide, oh, I'm not going to use that, I'm going to delete it. Once it's here, you can also click View Live Web Page. This will take you to what you put in. So if you come back after a while and you want to check it out again, instead of copying and pasting, you can just click on View Live Web Page. Again, to create another citation, you come up here. You could cite a book, create citation. You could cite a magazine article, create citation. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I want you to bring this to class, the one that you create, the Good Work Cited page, on a physical sheet of paper. And then you're also going to put that file, the .doc file, the Word document file, on your ePortfolio. I'll show you how to do that in class. But this is how you'll get a grade. So make sure you bring this by the day that I tell you in class. Make sense? All right. Thank you for watching.